This is SAT Test 8, non-calculator question number 16. College Board gives us a quadratic equation and asks for the positive solution of this equation. To solve a quadratic equation, we can either use the quadratic formula or factoring. In this case, I think factoring is easier. Leading coefficient of 1, so both factors will start with an x. The constant is negative, so we'll have a positive and a negative. And I need two numbers whose product is negative 12 and sum is positive 1. I could try 1 and 12, 2 and 6, 3 and 4. 3 and 4 have a difference of 1, so that would work. And since the product is positive, the 4 is positive and the 3 is negative. Let's check that with FOIL. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. 4 times x is positive 4x. And 4 times negative 3 is negative 12. That simplifies to x squared. Negative 3x plus 4x is plus 1x minus 12 equals 0. So this factored form is equivalent. I factored correctly. You should at least check FOIL in your head, especially when you're under pressure, like with SAT. Now the product that equals 0. If the product equals 0, either the first factor equals 0 or the second factor equals 0. Solving x equals negative 4 or x equals positive 3. We can't grid in a negative number, plus they said a, the value they're looking for, is positive, so this answer does not work. The correct answer would be 3. Alternatively, you can solve this with the quadratic formula, and I'll go over that just as a review because quadratic formula will be required for some SAT questions. I have x equals negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac all over 2a. Remember, the negative b is also over 2a. And that's for the form ax squared plus bx plus c equals 0. I always write my a, b, and c values so I don't get confused. Particularly, I'll occasionally swap two numbers, but I'll often drop a negative, like the negative from negative 12, and enter positive 12 by mistake. A equals 1, b equals 1, c equals negative 12. X equals negative b is negative 1. Plus or minus root b squared is 1 squared is 1. Minus 4ac, negative 4 times negative 12 is positive 48, times 1 is still 48. Over 2a, which is 2. So x equals negative 1 plus or minus square root of 49 is 7 over 2. So x equals negative 1 minus 7 over 2, which is negative 8 over 2 is negative 4. But that's negative and they said the solution is positive. Or x equals negative 1 plus 7 over 2, which is 6 over 2 equals 3. And that's the answer I found by factoring. Again, I prefer factoring for this sort of question if it factors easily, and you should be proficient enough at factoring that this factors easily. That's an excellent skill to practice before the SAT if you're a little rusty. And come back soon for my next math video. With math, there's always more.